I'm Heather.
And I'm David.
.com.
Let us know that you're here with a hashtag live tribe, or if you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay fam. And if you have any questions as we go, drop them in the comments.
We do take our jobs as teachers very seriously to help you guys gain a solid sense of spiritual self-reliance so you can be resilient and bounce back when you face plant on the sidewalk of life.
Who knows that one? Who's ever been there?
Install rubber cheeks. Hint.
Yes.
Industry trick. Because let's not kid ourselves. We all know that place intimately, right? We're going to play a game.
It's the Emoji Game.
Yes.
For those of you that already know how to play, get ready. For everybody else, here's how it goes down. Here's how to play. As we go through the tip of the day, you pick the emoji that you think fits best. We're going to pick our favorite at the end and pull a card for the winner.
Meaning David will pick a favorite because I can't see the emojis. Today we want to talk about one potentially sticky situation in a tarot reading that has to do with timing.
Yes.
And it's not necessarily sticky. It's just a common question that you're going to run into you've probably as a client getting a tarot reader have asked the same thing. I know I have, because we're impatient humans.
When are we there yet?
Right. Clients we're all five inside, right? So clients are going to ask things like, when will my money flow improve?
When am I going to meet my soulmate?
When will I get a better job?
When will I know my life's purpose?
All of these are questions that are very, 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 very common in a tarot reading because we want to know when.
We are impatient. We all want to know. Are we there yet?
Right.
Are we there yet? Is it happening yet? When is it going to happen?
Right? Let me... But seriously, that's our child self coming out, our little impatient child self. But can tarot cards really give these answers? My answer to that is yes and no.
Right, because the future is not set in stone.
It's like a river.
We create our river of the lives that we're living and our perception of them with our thoughts, our feelings, and our action.
And really, we do perceive our lives in different ways. I remember I was pursuing one career at one time, and I tried different things in it and was successful. But I didn't want to stay in that career, so I shifted gears. But I thought I got what I needed out of it. I was like, yeah, that was really good. I felt really successful with what I did. And I had a former associate who is also one of my business partners that was like, oh, I think you totally failed in it. We failed. It was a complete failure. I'm like, no, I see it as successful, but my partner saw it as something that was a failure. I'm like, isn't that interesting? Because for me, I perceived it as something very successful that I learned a lot. And now I'm ready to take that to the next venture. But my business partner was like, so really that's my business partner. And so that kind of woke me up to, wow, it really is about how we perceive what we do in life. So,
and Jen from Austin, News and Ed member. Jen, I am so excited to have you here because I know what you're in store for, and I am absolutely super stoked to see you grow.
I just have to shout out Austin because I love Austin with all my heart and soul. My dad's family is from Houston, previously from Guadalajara, Mexico. But Austin, I have a soft spot for. I absolutely love 6th Street. I spent a New Year's Eve there once, and I can't wait to go back. Often we see people terrified,
like mortified
of their creative power. Speaking of Austin, which is like if you don't know, if for those in the class that don't know Austin, 6th Street is like Music Street in the audience?
In the class?
In the class.
You said class.
In the class?
Okay,
yeah,
you guys are
in class right
today.
now.
Okay.
But 6th Street is like the music street. Like there's music venues all up and down the street and bars and stuff. And it's just, if you want to hear great music, go there. But often we see people terrified of their creative power. And you would think that was not so. Why would you be terrified of it? But we are. So what happens is they regress, right, back to a subservient childlike state, to this belief that your personal future is predetermined by a force outside of your control. right? And why is that? Why are we terrified of our creative power?
Right.
Because if we create something, people are going to look at it and possibly critique us for it.
Right. And then we're going to be rejected. We're maybe going to be kicked out of the pack. We're going to be ostracized. We're going to be thought of as the weirdo. Personally, we love weirdos. Matter of fact, we've built an entire group around the cool weirdos.
He digresses, but that's nice. But the
That's
thing
an
is,
example of digression.
digression. So my point is, it's nice for some people to have that set in stone future. Like what is set out for me. I don't have to have responsibility for what happens in my life, and that's nice for some people who want total absolution.
Right.
From taking personal responsibility in their lives.
Just tell me what to do and do it. And if I fail, it's not my fault because you told me to do it.
You're not 5. Just a reminder.
So you can either believe that life happens to you or that you are the force that is strong with this one, that molds and shapes your life regardless of the outside circumstances of the world. You can let that control you. You can let that guide you down the river of chaos, or you can flow like your own river, mold your own path. That's what I got to say with that.
But you,
and Jen says, yay, me too, me too. Well, Austin would love to welcome you back. Yes, we will definitely be out there.
I think it was New Year's 2006, like the end of 2006, I sang with a friend in the jazz kitchen. I got to sit in with them. It was so fun. I would love to come back there, sing, play, party, drink. How does this apply to tarot?
Right.
Okay. Tarot can be used to help you understand how you can make things happen more quickly.
Right.
It's not necessarily about when will this happen.
But what is blocking this?
Yes. Like, how are you getting in your own way of making something happen?
It's about changing the question to gain better insight. And that's not up to the person coming in for the reading. It is up to the person doing the reading to recognize these things and be able to better guide the reading so that the person getting the reading can get more out of it.
And we've talked about how to reframe difficult questions or slightly unethical questions in a better way.
In a different frame.
Exactly. So we've talked about that before in our lives about how do you reframe questions that are a little bit unethical and sticky. First of all, you have to recognize that it is an unethical question and out of your scope of practice and what you can do with tarot. So it's really with this, like the when questions, the time questions, it's also about changing the question to gain insight.
To help the person gain insight into what they're really asking. Okay, they want to manifest this thing. They want to create this thing. They want to have this thing happen now or as soon as possible, right?
Well, they're really asking when, but they're
asking when technically.
They're asking when, but what
underneath.
It's sort of like that marketing mantra, which is, you give the client what they think they want, but you show them what they need.
Yes.
In this case, it's the client thinks they want to know when, but that's very disempowering. If you can show them what they need and how to make it happen, they will feel much more powerful. So instead of asking, when will I meet my soulmate? Let's say they ask that question, very common question.
Maybe reframe this into asking, what do I need to do to meet my soulmate?
First of all, meet people. Stop being.
They're not going to knock on your door, most likely, unless they're a UPS driver.
Yeah, stop Netflixing and chilling and get on Peopling. So the bottom line is
that a website? Peopling?
Well, I mean, sometimes I'm serious. We've had readings with people that are like, I'm waiting for that person to knock on my front door.
Like literally. So once again, we are playing the emoji game. Drop the emojis that you think fit these tips the best in the comments so that I can pick a winner when we're done.
Pick a wiener.
Pick a wiener. What?
So the bottom line is,
bottom line.
Can we have a wiener lineup? So bottom line is, do not post dick pics. Bottom line is,
wow.
I love it when I stump him. Bottom line is, tarot is great at suggesting steps towards your goal so you can empower yourself and speed up your timeline. So we want to speed up that timeline for the good, right? But you need to know the steps to make that happen.
And that being said, You can also look for hints of time frames, like maybe getting an ace that might speak to an imminent positive change, or other number cards that might indicate days, weeks, months.
An imminent positive change means it's going to happen soon.
Right.
So an ace could indicate that. So that being said, there are certain little hints in there. So certain cards can hint at a particular season or a particular month. But the important thing to know when you're reading for a client is that is the secondary information for your client.
Right. The primary information that your client should leave with should be the steps that the tarot suggests that they take to make their desired outcome happen. Maybe they have something that has been blocking them, and you help them to recognize that they're blocking their own success, and that's why it's not happening as fast as they want. Or maybe they need to do something that they've been waiting on. Okay.
I'm going to give you a perfect example of this in my life. When I went for a reading, I think it was like 15 years ago. 15, 20, almost 20 years ago. My mom had some congestive heart failure, and she was very ill, very, very ill, but she sold her house that she'd been in for.
You were going to say she sold her soul?
Here, sorry, my story. So she sold her house, and she moved up the block from my house at the time. And so my kids and I were taking care of her, and she was getting better and better. And it looked like she was going to get a new lease on life. And she did. She lived in another 10, 12 years after that. But the doctor was very dark. He's like, I don't know if she's going to, they give you the worst case scenario. And I'm like, well, you don't know my mom. She's stubborn, and we're going to heal her. So she did live another 12 years after that. But we decided to build a house together. I was in the middle of buying property and building a custom house. So we were going to build her a little casita on the house. And we had the plans so that she could have her little grandmother's quarters. And so we were in the middle of that. And so I went to my friend, Courtney, and she gave me a card reading. And I was like, is my mom going to be okay? Because she's in ill health, and we're building this house, and we're building a little apartment where I just want to check in on my mom's health. I think your mom's going to be okay. She started getting emotional. She's like, but it feels like 6 months after you move into the house, after 6 months, here was the key. She saw sixes, and she's like, 6 months after you move into the house, she's going to, you might, just prepare yourself, right? Kind of thing. I'm like, okay. So it ended up, we never built the house because I got a divorce. 10 years later, 12 years later, I meet David, we buy a house. And 6 months after we moved into the house, 12 years later, my mom fell ill and passed away.
Right.
So I was thinking that it was this one house, but it was actually 6 months after we moved into the house, but 12 years later. That's one example of why you can't
delineate set time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was 6 months, but it was like nowhere near the time frame that my human brain wanted it to be or was looking for.
Right.
The bottom line is, when you are doing reading for a client, your primary information your client should leave with, and my reader Courtney did, she gave me a positive spin on it. It wasn't like your mom's going to die 6 months after you move, which is what happened, but 12 years later. It's very important to leave your client with something empowering, which she did for me. She left me with a very positive, you're going to have so much happiness with your mom, and your kids are going to heal her, and all this great stuff's going to happen. And it did. That's the primary information I left with and what I used. The primary information that your client should not leave with is the exact date when, because it's going to play out in divine timing and according to how they start to manifest themselves.
Right. So think about this. Which is more empowering? Yes, it's going to happen exactly on this date, and then it doesn't happen. Or if you take these steps, you can make it faster.
Well, in my case, I didn't really want it to be faster. Like my mom's.
I'm talking manifestation here.
Right.
I'm talking about the positive spins, not
right.
The
For me, I was asking, is my mom going to be okay through this process? Is her health stable enough? Is she going to be okay? Right. So it was, for me, that empowered me into how to make her life the best possible happiness. But what your client should leave with is empowering steps to help their goal create the best possible outcome. So the card I picked for this is the 9 of Swords, because the 9 of Swords is that moment when we look at the patterns that we've created and realize that we've made these things happen, that we have responsibility for our life, how all of our life right now has been determined 90% right? Because 10% happens out there,
Right.
but 90%, your life right now is determined by all the choices that you have made up to this point. And that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes.
Life is also your perception of it.
But it's also an empowering pill to swallow, because you realize now your life 5 years from now can be a result of all the choices you make between now and then, which could be awesome. So
Rory asked, how long until you pick a winner?
like right now.
That will be like right now. So go ahead and drop in the emoji, or drop the emojis in the comments that you think fit these tips the best. Give me an emoji storm. We are playing the emoji game, and in a moment, I will pick a winner, and we will pull a card for you.
So I'm just going to shuffle until David picks a winner.
Yes, our winner today is Lisbeth. Lisbeth Aberjan. I hope I said that right. If I didn't,
that's
apologies.
So I'm going to...
Lisbeth, you are our winner. We're going to pull a card here for you in just a moment. We're going to pull a card.
Hang on 1 second. Let me do this little cutting of the deck and see what... Okay.
And then Jen says, make sure your clients walk away understanding that they are the creators of their own life, so they can feel inspired, and that life can be full of rainbows. Absolutely, 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 Jen. And for those of you who are in Zen Academy, drop in the comments why you love Zen Academy and why other people need to be in there. Here, Lisbeth, is your card, the Chariot.
What a nice card to have, and on this very day today.
On this day
today, I pulled the Chariot. So the Chariot is fabulous because it speaks to your ability to manifest. So the Chariot is driven by a king that is not necessarily a king that has inherited his kingdom. The important thing to remember about the driver of the Chariot is that it is a person that has made their own life happen, which is so perfect for the theme for today. Sometimes I pull these cards after we do the topic and I'm like, how I couldn't have planned it better myself. And dude, I am shuffling like crazy. So the Chariot speaks to you about being the storm. The Chariot is driven by a king who takes his kingdom or her kingdom, who makes it happen, who sees all the angles and takes it. So if it was reversed, it can indicate like an arrogant leader or an arrogant king, but it is not. It is upright for you, and it is about having confidence, knowing that you got this, knowing that you have everything within you to grab your kingdom, take it, and make it prosperous and beautiful. The Chariot also represents someone who is, like I said, depending on how the cards are laid out, but this is a 1-card reading. So someone that understands their responsibility for the kingdom that they create. So for you, it's about having that responsibility once you gain the kingdom, take the kingdom, the responsibility for the citizens. I'm going to bunny ear quote this, the citizens of your kingdom, your desire to give them bounty, to share your bounty, to empower others. So this is really, I feel like, you deciding what you want your life to be from this moment, and assessing the steps to take it and make it. But I think for you, don't worry about, I got the reverse of the 5 of Wands reverse.
The reverse of Wands, 5.
And to me, the Wands, the 5 of Wands is about a fake fight. It's about squabbling and dissonance, and people they're not really meaning to do you harm. It's not real harm. They're kind of fake fighting. They're like squabbling. And to me, this tells me, because this is what I think you need to hear about moving forward, is do not worry about the haters, the squabblers, your own negative self-talk. Let it go. Listen to your truth and stay on that Chariot and keep driving those sphinxes towards your goal.
Making life-changing choices. May I ask what Robert's intentions are for me? And what this is telling me is bring the power, bring the control back to you. Realize that you are the creator of your own life. Whether or not Robert chooses to be on that path with you, rocking that Chariot, that's up to him, but don't let that choice disempower your move forward. And she also says, yes, I'm at a stage where I'm making life-changing choices. Yes, center those around you.
So this 5 of Wands reverse could be that sort of the conversation with yourself about what Robert is going to do. And that's the fake fight. The real challenge is for you to stay on your path. And if Robert is aligned with your truth,
he's going to ride with you.
He's going to get on the Chariot. So you need to stick with your truth.
Yes.
Okay. And you need to have a partner who is aligned with your truth. And if you take someone along who is not aligned with your truth will never get off the ground.
Yeah.
So
because you're still putting the power outside of you, waiting for somebody else to drive the chariot instead of driving it yourself.
you drive your chariot and see
He's
if
on board or he's not.
he's going to get in the
That's it.
sidecar or he's going to, or what,
Yeah. The sidecar,
what,
the passenger seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to ride shotgun.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We want to take a moment to quickly tell you about that offer to join our online community where our Zen heads hang out and where we, as of a couple years ago, teach all of our courses, including our comprehensive tarot course.
Zen Academy was an idea that grew from our love of teaching workshops in Las Vegas since 2008 in person.
Actually a way that we can come together and support others as well as be supported ourselves. And let me tell you, the support that is in the group is absolutely amazing. I am touched every day how everybody comes together. Once again, for those of you who are in Zen Academy, let the world know what is so good about it. I know what's good about it, but you let them know.
Zen Academy is a different kind of healing center that fits in the palm of your hand.
And it didn't just happen overnight. We have put all of our education, our dedication, our experience, and our good mojo into creating a safe space that delivers what has been missing from the spiritual industry for decades, for eons, forever.
Without all the fluff, the nonsense, and the unicorn farts that some of us can do without. Like stuff you can actually use in your life. That's what we do.
So not some pop-up class that's gone when it's done.
Like learn to make a crystal grid or stuff you can grab for free on the internet, but meaningful courses with well-researched information, not just the same copy and paste stuff that is everywhere you search.
Absolutely. If you want in, we made it easy to access not just one class, but over 21 seriously deep and growing PhD-backed courses to binge on to your heart's content.
Plus all the lifetime replays.
Be sure to check that out in the description.
Yes.
Because you guys have hung out with us this far, put up with all of our shenanigans and everything else that we've done today, be sure to check out the goodies we've got for you. There's a link in the description below. If you like this video,
hit the like button.
hit it hard. If you want to see more videos like this,
Be sure to subscribe.
and spank that bell, spank it hard to turn notifications on.
So you're the first to know.
Wow, that was a little creepy. When we drop a new video.
Or go live.
And we know that time is a valuable and precious resource. And the fact that you guys have chosen to spend that with us, we honor and appreciate that. But more importantly, that you are here to level up your life, your skills, and take everything to a whole new level. We honor and appreciate that even more. Thank you guys for watching. Now it's time to check out these videos over here and over here, wherever they happen to be. Check out the videos, and we will see you